Welcome back to SA Sports Show. I'm here with Tyler Whitaker, a real up-and-coming South Australian pro runner. You've had a great season.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it's been a
Couple of big wins for you.
yeah, it's been a good season. Enjoyed it.
Kensington must have been special, the 550.
Yeah, that was a good win. That was the first one. We didn't have to do a heat for that one, just a straight final. So I was loving that. Just
that's always been nice, isn't it? Have one big crack at it, and you're feeling fairly fresh.
Yeah,
which
exactly.
Is good.
Yeah, not tired at all.
The Brighton as well. That was a good win. The Brighton Classics.
Brighton. Yeah, it was a lucky one. I wasn't sure I'd win that one, but then went around.
Were they chasing you down, or you had you were placed?
It was still more of a fight. I was in the midst of that one.
Yeah.
Sort of like
Because it gets really hectic, doesn't it?
Yeah, the heat was very heated. It was very around the back, the last bend. It was kind of a bit of a battle. Everyone was around the place, and then.
We'll just talk a little bit about like, when you do 400 metres. Everyone's done it at schools, and they're in their lanes, and it's pretty a bit of a gentleman's race compared to the pros because you're going for it. There's basically the inside lane is where you want, and somehow you sort of you've got to get around, and it's really helpful leather. Just getting around and holding your position, and it gets very narky towards that end.
Yeah, it's very much a mental game. You got to time your run. So like, do I take him over on the back straight, or do I wait until the other side of the bend? It's always a bit of a tricky one, but yeah.
Because you don't want to go around the bend
wide. You don't want to get
that's right,
wide. No,
and Flagstaff Hill as well, because that's a pretty big race.
That was definitely the best race of the season for me, I reckon. I was running with my running partner Jacoby. We were both in the final. He went out first, got in front around the back straight, and went around the bend. And then I was like, I don't know, I can't let him win. He was coming in first. And I'm like, I got to get a win here. I want the SASS. So I just took him on, and like the last like millisecond, I think I just overtook him. Just over Brest, yeah.
So don't worry about all the other races in the particular race. You just want to beat your mate.
Yeah, exactly.
Fantastic.
That's what motivates you to win the race, really. I think. Yeah. Training with your partner, and then
it must be nice to get that up on the dart, and you get the slash. That must be something pretty special.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a good feeling. My first one in 2018. As soon as I got that one,
hang on, that's a St Michael's.
St Michael's
400 metre classic. That's my old school. I know they put on a professional meet, and you've taken the chocolates, which is great.
Yeah,
that was your first one.
Yeah, it was the first one. Yeah. So, bit of a coincidence there, being old school. Yeah.
Cool. And was that a close one? Was it down to the wire?
No, I took that one out pretty cleanly. Yeah. Just went hard and went all the way.
My background is athletics, which I love, and I was lucky enough to run a couple of professional runs, and it's just great getting the bib on, and they work out your handicap, and some I think geez actually need to be a bit higher. But I did have a 400. Run at was Angle Park, and I had a really nice handicap, and it was a bit like yourself where my mate was down a bit, and all I wanted to do was not let him win, and I think, hang on, I could win this, and I just got over and I got the SASS. So it was fantastic. Now your coach Gary Thompson, what a wonderful coach. Firstly, what about his career since? We go back a few years, and I know a lot of the viewers would have heard of his name, but we go back to 1968. I think he's had close to 30 wins.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, he's been at it for a long time. I think 1968 he started running. About 50 years ago, and then I can't remember when exactly he started coaching, but yeah.
Isn't it fantastic that he's had a wonderful career, and then just putting all his heart and soul into some of the great athletes like yourself for the future.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Now, what do you like better, the Bay Chef? Do you like the Bay Footy Club or Wiggly Reserve, which is a classic?
Yeah, it's a tricky one. The reserve down at the Bay does get a bit tight for the middle distance runners on the 550.
But isn't that what it's all about? I mean, we all know how tight that those bends are, and we do feel for the 400s and the 800s because you know that you've got no room for error. You've really got to hold your position.
Yeah, I suppose maybe that's part of it. It's a bit of an art to actually get that bend. But yeah, and I did like doing this year at the ACH Stadium.
I love watching because you're right. It is an art. That's what I love about it. You can put a few bucks on your favourite runner. You've got the handicap system as well, and then it's really comes down to a bit of tactics because you're not just in your lane. That's what I love about it, and it's exciting. Look, I've been a the stall gift, which I know that's one of your goals.
Yeah, definitely.
I've been a number of times to the Camden Classic, of course the Bay Chef. so much atmosphere, isn't there? And it's it's electric out there.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a great sport, and a lot of community there, and a lot of great people, and the SAL does a really good job of putting the meets on.
Yeah. Now, it's interesting. I did read a little bit about that. You loved your footy.
Yeah.
And footy, even though you were a very good player, didn't turn out to be your game. You just unfortunately got concussed on too many occasions, and you thought, well, my next career is going to be professional running, and you've already won a heap of sashes, which is great.
Yeah, it was sort of like that. I probably didn't think, I'm going to be a professional runner straight up, but I was like, I got concussed 2016 pretty bad, and I was going to year 12, and I was like, okay, I need to focus on year 12 as well. So I'm like, okay, put food on the back burner. And then Gary Thompson, who was a coach who trained us a little bit at Ranella, or the running coach at least, give us a bit of running. I said to him, can I come out and maybe do some running? Because, I've always enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So give it a crack. And here we are, I suppose, 5 years later, and it's still going.
And what about something like still that? I mean, you're only really young to the sport, and you've done so much already. Obviously, that's a goal. And
yeah, no, definitely a goal to go to Stall. I've heard it's a great meet, great weekend. All the best pro runners are there. You've got all the Victorian boys and girls as well, I suppose, that you're going to verse over there. So yeah, it would be great to go over there and even have the whole club go over as well, the running club, and just have the weekend together to enjoy and spur each other on.
And what about the camaraderie? I mean, you've been in the footy, and that's you've got a whole heap of teammates there, and then all of a sudden you go to a smaller group. But I'm sure the support you get, you give, to each other and from each other must be something pretty special, though.
Yeah, it's a different sport together. You go from team one to soul.
It's nerve-wracking.
It's all on you.
At the end of the day, it's nerve-wracking.
Yeah, it's just you when you get to the track, but otherwise, you've got, your training partners, you got your coach, you got the parents, and all the other runners in your group. They really just
staff and things like that. I know you got a great assistant coach as well, who's was a great professional runner.
Yeah, he still runs a bit as well, Dan. I think he wants to. What did he do this year? He ran a bit this year. I think had a few niggles, but he's running in the.
And how's your handicap at the moment? Are you pretty happy where your starting point is?
Yeah, well, I'm quite lucky. Yeah, I'm pretty close to the front at the moment. It's been pushed back a little bit this year as I've got more wins, but I'm pretty happy with it. I've been quite fortunate, to be honest. That's why.
Did you think you were going to have as much success that you've had so short in your career? Sort of what you've got now. I mean, it's a sport you wouldn't have known anything about.
No,
the handicap, people betting on you. All of a sudden, you're winning a few bucks as well, which would have always been very, very nice. A couple of nice checks for your wins and.
I was definitely never expecting to have such a good season this season and all that sort of thing. Because you go from the first run I did was, I think it was a 1600 metre, and I was 2 laps behind just because my handicap was way back there. Yeah. But it's part of the sport. I think you kind of just, you do your time, you run a few races, and the more you run, and if you're running at your best, they'll try and let you have a win, or not let you have a win, but they'll give you the handicap that can let you win.
And what about some of your favourite meets? Because I know we have a lot of meetings around Adelaide and country South Australia as well. I know there's a great meet at Victor Harbour, of course, and Noarlunga. I think they've had one of their first ones for quite a number of years, which was very, very successful. What are some of your favourite tracks?
As you mentioned, Victor Harbour is a good one. I haven't had a win there yet. I got a second, I think, a couple of seasons ago.
Close?
Just missed out. Yeah. Flagstaff's obviously a great one. Love that one. And it was good to have a win there this year. I think I've got close previous years. Yeah. What else is there?
Of course, the Bay Chef.
The Bay Chef, yeah.
Because of the standing of, this is our best race in South Australia.
Yeah, it is,
Which is brilliant.
Oh, and of course, being a 400 metre runner, loves the Camden Classic,
That's the big one, isn't it? The old Camden Classic. That's, that and probably the Bay Chef really probably nearly stop our, South Australian.
Stop us for the weekend,
For the weekend, for our athletes and professionals. So.
Yeah, and there's the money there for you, so you can, go for a run, but. I haven't had much success there yet, being a newer to the sport runner, but hopefully we'll get.
Well, you need a good handicap there because you get again, you really are getting the best athletes, and probably tutoring from Victoria as well as some of the great South Australians. So you're certainly up against it.
Yeah, no, I think the guy who took it out was a Victorian this year.
To me, I love professional running. I love it, and it's great to see that someone like yourself that footy's not for me. what's another sport? Sometimes people don't think about professional running. And I think it's absolutely brilliant, and I really do wish you all the success and a lot of fun, and for anyone out there that think they've got a little bit of toe in their legs and think, well, this could be for me. This is a wonderful, wonderful sport, and there's lots of clubs. Just get on the website, check out a club and coaches near you, and all of a sudden you could be like Tyler, standing on top of a dais with already 3 or 4 sashes, which is absolutely fantastic. So all the best, and thanks for joining us on SA Sport.
Yeah, no worries.
Back to you guys.